Hello and welcome. Today we're going to talk about a whole new kind of artificial intelligence. See, we're moving past AI that just chats with you or finds information. We're talking about an AI that actually acts, an AI that gets things done. This is Agentic AI. Okay, let me just start with a question. Think about your to-do list, right? You've got things on there like booking flights, scheduling meetings, maybe trying to manage a budget. Now, what if that list wasn't just a bunch of reminders for you? What if the list could actually do itself? That, right there, is the core idea behind what we're exploring today. So this brings us to the first really big idea here. We're seeing a huge shift from an AI that just gives you answers to an AI that takes those answers and actually does something with them. Let's take a simple example, planning a vacation. We've all been there. You can ask your typical AI or search engine for, flights to Paris, and you'll get back a massive list of options, which is helpful. But you still have to do all the heavy lifting. You're the one comparing prices, checking baggage fees, and then finally booking the ticket. And Agentic AI is built to handle that entire complex process for you. And that really is the key difference, isn't it? We're moving from an AI that's like a library full of information to an AI that's more like an engine for action. It's the difference between having a map and having a chauffeur who just takes you where you need to go. So what is this new kind of AI called? Well, we call it an agent. And you should think of it less like a search tool and way more like a super capable personal assistant. Here's another way to think about it. Traditional AI is kind of like a librarian. You ask for a book on a certain topic and the librarian finds it for you, which is great. But that's where their job ends. Agentic AI? That's more like having a full-blown research assistant. You give it a goal, like write a report on market trends, and it doesn't just find the books. It reads them, it synthesizes the information, and it actually writes the report for you. So here's the more official definition. And the key words you really want to focus on here are independently, use tools, and take actions. This means it can connect to other software, it can use APIs, which are just ways for different apps to talk to each other, or access databases all by itself to get the job done. Okay, so let's go a little deeper. How does an agent actually think? Well, it pretty much operates in a constant loop. It perceives what's going on, it reasons about what to do next, and then it takes action. A self-driving car is the perfect real-world example of this. First, you've got perception. Its cameras and sensors are constantly gathering data on traffic, people, road signs, you name it. Then comes reasoning. The system processes all that data, sees a red light, and understands, okay, that means stop. It might even pull from its memory on the best way to brake smoothly if the road is wet. And finally, execution. It sends the command to actually apply the brakes. That cycle just perfectly shows you the agent's core loop in action. But here's where things get really, really powerful. These agents, they aren't static. They don't just do tasks. They actually learn from them. They literally get smarter with every single thing they do. And this quote from the research really nails it. Just like for you and me, an agent's ability to learn and get better is all based on its memory. It doesn't just do a task and then forget about it. It stores that experience. So how does that actually work? Well, you can think of it in three main ways. First, that memory provides context. It lets the agent look back at similar things it's done before to better understand what's happening now. Second, it improves its reasoning by picking up on patterns from all that past experience. And third, it refines its strategy. If something worked well before, it'll try it again. If it failed, well, it adapts and tries something new. It's this constant feedback loop of getting better and better. All right, so I know this might all sound a bit like science fiction, but Agentic AI is already out there in the wild. Let's take a look at where this stuff is being used right now. This technology is already making huge waves in some major industries. In finance, for example, agents are executing automated trades based on real-time market analysis. In healthcare, they're helping doctors with diagnoses by analyzing mountains of medical data. We've already talked about self-driving cars, of course, and even in our own homes, these agents are managing everything from how we use energy to our security systems. Of course, with any powerful new technology, there's a ton of promise. But there are also some pretty big challenges and risks we have to think about. So let's take a balanced look at what's coming. On the one hand, the advantages are pretty clear. These agents can work on their own, they adapt to new information, and they can solve really complex problems with incredible efficiency. But there are some major limitations. They still need a human in the loop to prevent mistakes, which brings up a huge question. If an agent makes a decision on its own, who's responsible when it messes up? Plus, these systems can get so complex that they become black boxes, making it super difficult to understand why they made a certain decision, which makes them even harder to regulate. And that leaves us with this final, really crucial question. As we start handing over more and more of our tasks and decisions to these autonomous agents, we have to seriously grapple with what that means for responsibility. When an AI books the wrong flight, makes a bad financial trade, or causes an accident, who's actually at fault? The person who used it? The programmer who wrote the code? The company that built it? That's a question we're all going to have to figure out as this technology becomes a bigger and bigger part of our lives. Thanks for tuning in.